The Pope unveiled a Palestinian nativity scene gifted to the Vatican, featuring a representation of baby Jesus in a kfir, the traditional Palestinian national scarf draped on Jesus's cradle. The pontiff called on believers to remember the brothers and sisters who in Bethlehem and other parts of the world are suffering from the tragedy of war.
The Holy Father has announced which holy doors will be open for pilgrims, and they're not all in churches.
We begin in Rome, where they are bracing for a slew of visitors. In less than 2 weeks, millions of people will flock to the Italian capital for the Jubilee. A Jubilee year is a Catholic tradition that takes place every 25 years, and one that began more than 700 years ago. The 2025 Jubilee officially starts on December 24th of this year, when the Pope opens the Holy Door of St. Peter's Basilica.
After 5 years of restoration, Archbishop of Paris Laurent Ulrich knocked on the doors of Notre Dame. Inside, the 8,000 pipe organ filled the cathedral and a choir sang out in joy. The restored cathedral gleamed with clean stone, repainted structures, and vibrant stained glass windows. Attendees included the United Kingdom's Prince William, US First Lady Jill Biden, Ukrainian President Zelensky, and President-elect Donald Trump, standing alongside French President Macron. Notably absent was Pope Francis, who chose to decline the invitation.
Stay with us, because right now we go to the Vatican. Pope Francis will meet Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas on Thursday, as the Catholic pontiff becomes more vocal in his criticism of Israel's retaliatory military operation in Gaza following the October 7th Hamas invasion and mass abduction. Abbas travels to Italy this week, where he is set to meet with President Sergio Mattarella and Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni. And very briefly, much reaction, of course, to the Pope unveiling that Palestinian nativity scene, so to speak, gifted to the Vatican. Tell us very briefly some of the varied reactions so far.
A seasonal nativity scene at the Vatican has been removed after backlash over its depiction of baby Jesus lying on a keffiyeh, the traditional scarf used by Palestinians as a national symbol. According to reports, the keffiyeh draped cradle, which was displayed in the Paul VI Hall, was one of a series of nativity scenes collectively titled Nativity of Bethlehem 2024, designed by 2 Palestinian artists.
The Holy Father has announced which holy doors will be open for pilgrims, and they're not all in churches. EWTN Vatican journalist Benedict Sidegren has more.
An estimated 35 million pilgrims are expected to gather in Rome for the 2025 Jubilee. For many attendees, this holy year is an opportunity to deepen their union with Christ and strengthen their faith.
There's really a spiritual significance for the pilgrim to come over here and, of course, to cross the most famous holy door that it's open for this specific and historical event. In fact, every 25 years.
The Jubilee will begin with the opening of the Holy Door of St. Peter's Basilica on Christmas Eve 2024.
At the Vatican today, Pope Francis is installing 21 new cardinals. Many of the new leaders are key figures in the Pope's reform agenda, which includes a crackdown on abuse. Francis is also broadening the geographic diversity of the College of Cardinals, with appointments of 2 new cardinals from Asia, 2 from Africa, and 5 from Latin America.
Also included on the list is the Archbishop Dominique Mathieu of Tehran Ispahan, a Belgian Franciscan missionary based in Iran. This appointment is likely part of Pope Francis's desire to promote dialogue with Islam and peace in the Middle East.
Archbishop Rino Fisichella emphasized how the Jubilee stands as a testament to the enduring power of hope. Quoting Pope Francis, he said, "May this year of grace contribute greatly to restoring a climate of hope and trust as a prelude to the renewal and rebirth that we so urgently desire."
I want to talk about the politics going on. I think we're just seeing a moment ago Felix Tshisekedi, the president of the Democratic Republic of Congo. So let's look at on a wider perspective here. I'm going to start with Seema Gupta, our correspondent in Rome. This is a huge moment, Seema, tonight in the Catholic calendar, and yet the Pope isn't there, declining an invitation. Tell us about the dynamic there, Seema.
Yes, I mean, there have been some reports that some French bishops perhaps annoyed that he's not there in Paris this evening, that the French establishment not happy that he declined this invitation to come. Could it be perhaps that he was angered by French policies with regards to immigration, the plight of migrants being something very close to the heart of the pontiff, or perhaps not happy with the decision to make the right to abortion part of the French constitution? But perhaps it could simply be because of a scheduling conflict. I mean, today, here in Rome, this evening, this afternoon, Pope Francis presided over a consistory to put in place 21 new cardinals. So this was a busy part of the year for the Pope in the lead up to Christmas and the lead up to the Jubilee Catholic year in 2025. And on Sunday, he will also be having the annual commemoration of a feast day to the Virgin Mary, something that happens every year on the 8th of December. That is an important ceremony here in Rome for Pope Francis. So he simply couldn't make it for this weekend. Also, perhaps the Pope really likes to stress more on the communities, Catholic communities in the peripheries, and not so much something happening maybe perhaps in a major European capital, because it's interesting to note, while he's not there in Paris this weekend, he will next weekend be making a trip to the French Mediterranean island of Corsica to attend a Catholic conference, and President Macron is scheduled to meet him there. So perhaps once again, his stress on Catholic communities in the peripheries rather than perhaps a grand cathedral opening in Paris.
The act symbolizes the offering of an extraordinary path towards salvation and invites Christians to make the passage from sin to grace. Pilgrims who make the journey to walk through a holy door can receive a plenary indulgence under the usual conditions. In preparation for the Jubilee, the Holy Father called for 2024 to be a year of prayer. Outside the Vatican, the city of Rome is undergoing a transformation. One noticeable change: the Piazza Pia will be a more pedestrian-friendly area connecting Castel Sant'Angelo to St. Peter's Square.
As staff, we are really excited to welcome and assist everyone, and welcome especially everyone beside us, the pilgrims, and to let them discover the historical part of the city of Rome, maybe also the religious part, which the Vatican also represents as a country, and the Catholic Church.
The theme for the upcoming year is Pilgrims of Hope. As Pope Francis stressed in the papal document announcing the upcoming Jubilee, we must become singers of hope in a world marked by too much despair.
The goal of this Jubilee year is to remind Catholics and the Church to reflect the mercy and compassion of God. Within the hour, Milwaukee Archbishop Jerome Listecki blessed and opened the holy doors at the Cathedral of St. John the Evangelist. Jubilee years in the Church are generally celebrated every 25 to 50 years.
As the 2025 Jubilee is approaching, Pope Francis includes an invitation to be pilgrims of hope and recalls that hope must be the anchor and the sail that guide us toward a more fraternal future.
The newly created cardinals hail from regions like Asia, Africa, Europe, North America and South America. During his homily, the pontiff called on the new cardinals to be witnesses of fraternity, emphasizing their roles as close advisors in a time of global conflict and division. The group includes the youngest cardinal, the 44-year-old Ukrainian Bishop Mykola Bychok, and the oldest Italian Archbishop Angelo Acerbi, who is 99 years old. Acerbi delivered a message on behalf of the new cardinals, reflecting on global conflicts that continue to disfigure the human family. Pope Francis has now appointed approximately 80% of the cardinals who will vote for the next pope, cementing his influence on the Church's future.